Hey guys, Anders here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be going over the Season 1 patch notes and telling you all you need to know and really nothing you don't need to know. And with Battlefield 2042 Season 1 finally having official information, honestly, there's so much information that's come out, I'm having trouble dissecting and kind of sectioning off how I'm going to do videos. So I'm going to do this patch video, then hopefully tomorrow I will do my impressions on the content, and just do more videos from there. So I will eventually cover everything on Battlefield Season 1. I just want to make sure I split it up into videos that actually make it easy to find and make sense. And as always, if you enjoy the videos, if you watch the content regularly, be sure to like the videos and subscribe to the channel. 65% of people that watch my channel are not subscribed. So if you consistently watch, just check if you're subscribed. Sometimes, you know, I've made the mistake of watching channels a bunch and don't subscribe even though I mean to. So, let's actually get into the patch notes here. I'm not going to lie, the Battlefield 2042 Season 1 patch has a lot of fluff in it, and a lot of the changes are definitely not going to be noticeable to the player. So, I actually have gone through and picked out all of the changes that you actually need to know about. So, first off, when is the next update, meaning the update after this one? It is currently slated for early July as stated in the patch 1.0 patch notes. And just a quick note about this update slash Season 1. It is very confusing to me why they would update the game 2 days before they release the actual content the update is for. It makes a lot more sense to me to release both the update and the content for Season 1 at the same time. Because, I don't know about you, but I was kind of under the impression that Season 1 was coming out on the 7th. Now, maybe that's just because I don't pay attention. But I think if you're going to update your game, it's going to fool a lot of people into thinking that Season 1 is actually playable. Because, make no mistake, as of right now, you cannot access the new content for the game. You can't play on the new maps. You can't access the Battle Pass. You can't use the Specialist. It's just very confusing. I wish they would have bundled it all together just to avoid confusion. Now, moving on to the general fixes you actually need to care about, they resolved an issue where if you quit out of an ongoing match, it would automatically put you back into the matchmaking queue. I found this very annoying because, you know, if you quit to your menu to, I don't know, change some attachments around or something on a weapon or change your player card, you would automatically just be queuing, so that will no longer happen. They resolved a mouse raw input setting from reverting, so I don't even, that is like one of the most important settings you need to work, because mouse raw input is essential. And before people ask in the comments if mouse input is fixed, no, it is not fixed as a result of this setting. And I can guarantee you that personally, you're just going to have to take my word for it because I speak to DICE developers about this issue. And they are fully aware that mouse input is still bugged. Some other general changes that you might be interested in. A lot of little specific actions now trigger you gaining XP, such as takedown, claiming control of a door panel, providing smoke in which teammates are healed or revived in now gives you HP. Killing an enemy who recently wounded or killed a squad mate now triggers an XP event. So just a bunch of extra XP it seems like they added into the game, as well as the heavily requested vehicle kill assist XP event. When an enemy vehicle you recently damaged is destroyed by a teammate, you will now receive XP in form of a vehicle kill assist. Moving on to the gadget section, they have improved pathing for thrown grenades. I believe this is referring to all grenades and not just Sundance grenades. The EMP grenade will now affect insertion beacons, sentry guns, and the shoot down sentinels, which are basically like the portable APS systems that you put on the ground and it destroys grenades. And definitely the most important fix in this entire gadget section, they have finally fixed the med pen bug, where it just wasn't available to be used even if you could use it. That was a major bug that prevented me from using the med pen for multiple weeks, actually. Moving on to the maps and modes section, but just a quick reminder, if you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. I stream every single day on Twitch, link is in the description. I will be streaming Season 1 as soon as it goes live, so if you want to watch that, I will be live. The most important change in the maps and modes section is they have reduced the total number of air attack vehicles that can be active at any time to 1 per team. This change applies to both Conquest and Breakthrough, but it is not active in the Battlefield Portal modes or in the Classic Era or Breakaway maps. Now, this is a very controversial change in my opinion. People on Twitter were really up in arms about this because This means that there can only really be one attack helicopter or one jet present on either team at any given time, and that just doesn't seem like it's appropriate for some of the maps, but I don't know. A lot of the air vehicles in this game are poorly balanced, which brings us to our next oddly specific mention in this section. Is they specifically mention that the Condor and the Super Hind are not impacted by this change, meaning you can have multiple Condors and Super Hinds per team. And this is very interesting to me, considering the fact that the Condor and the Super Hind are probably stronger than the attack helicopters right now, or the jets. So I'm just vastly confused. Definitely let me know what you guys think about that specific change in the comments section below. I think the Condors and the Super Hinds are some of the most annoying things in the entire game currently. But moving on to the soldier section, the very first change is very important here. We've improved netcode for bullets hit detection on moving soldiers, as well as when changing states or stances. This includes more consistent hit detection against Sundance when they're flying in the wingsuit. When I played today, I have to say I did not notice this. It's not a noticeable change, but it is an important change to mention in my opinion. Another important change to mention is they resolved instances of incorrect damage when falling from high distances. I have definitely had this happen to me before, where I fall off of, I wouldn't say a high distance, just like a drop that is survivable, and I would die. And this has since not happened, so that's good that they fixed that. And it is not possible to jump off of a ladder by crouching. They have also fixed an issue where the movement penalty speed after jump landing did not trigger. So I have to say I didn't notice this change either, but it's listed in here, and that is a fairly important change if it actually does what it says. And moving on to one of the most important changes in the entire patch, fixed instances where parachutes didn't deploy as intended. I think I've probably died, I don't know, conservatively 400 times to the parachute not working, so thank God for this. Now, as far as the specialist section, there really isn't much to actually mention here other than the fact that Casper has still not had C5 drones patched out of the game, okay? Like, if there's any change I want to see to Casper listed in a patch note, I want to see removed the ability to place C5 on Casper's OVP recon drone. That's what I want to see in the next patch, Dice. Are you listening? Thank you. Now, moving on to the UI/HUD section, I will mention that the UI/HUD has had some overhauls happen to it. For instance, the bottom right has had its UI changed. Some of the menus have had different sounds and little clicks and bangs added. Little sound effects here and there. So the UI has had some secret changes for sure. They're for the better in my opinion. The UI looks a little better, but still wish you could resize your minimap, which you cannot. Moving on to the vehicle section. Exiting a vehicle that is in water should no longer sometimes cause players to fall through the map. Missiles from aircraft would sometimes loop around targets. They now head straight for them with unbridled rage. And yes, I read that verbatim. They actually wrote that in the patch notes. And finally, they fixed helicopters from instantaneously exploding upon trying to land them. So now I guess if you explode while landing, it's a, as the kids say, a skill issue. In the weapons section, projectile speeds for all DMRs and LMGs have been increased, and this is very noticeable in my opinion. The DM7 and the LCMG are now even more laser beamy than they were before. And shockingly, and I can't even believe I'm reading this, they buffed shotguns essentially twice. Shotgun cone spread has been adjusted to improve consistency and improved pellet dispersion for shotguns. As if the 12M wasn't absolutely disgusting enough, it is now even more effective. Now some changes for controller players specifically, so listen up if you play on controller. Bolt-action rifles now have identical aim assist as other weapons. This excludes snap settings, auto-rotation. But we aren't done there. Aim assist is no longer present whatsoever for sniper rifles in hipfire. So if you're on controller and you're using a sniper rifle and you're trying to hipfiring it, you do not have any sort of aim assist anymore. So I'm sure that all console players will now immediately headshot me because that's just how this works. And in a very interesting change, you can now reload during vaults that don't require both hands. That's actually pretty interesting because I feel like you could use that pretty much all the time in gameplay. As far as changes to specific weapons, the PBX-45 has finally had its abysmally long reload time decreased from 3.1 to 2.3 seconds. And shockingly, after 10 minutes, after me ignoring literally 95% of the miscellaneous changes I could have gone over for this patch, we have finally gone over everything you need to know about the Battlefield 2042 Season 1 patch notes. So if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll be covering far more about Battlefield 2042 Season 1, including my thoughts on the content, trailer, weapons, and overall pretty much everything to do with the game. I, of course, will be streaming at twitch.tv/enders. Give my channel a follow, link is in the description, and join the Discord if you want. There's always active discussion going on in every single channel if you guys want to meet some people to play with or just shoot some shit in my Discord. So, I'll see you guys in the next one, and thank you so much for hitting 24,500 subscribers. That is absolutely nuts. Goodbye.